So here we have two poets. We shall be concentrating on poetry today. That's our topic. So we shall have the poets introduce themselves. One is a spoken word poet, and then the other is a written page poet, who actually wishes or someday hopes to be a spoken word poet as well. So then to my left hand side, who do we have today?
Yes, assalamu alaikum to you all. It's your poet, the logical intellect poet inspired by wisdom. Yeah, a Pan-Africanist as well. I'm honored to be invited by Congo TV, right? But anyway, it's a pleasure. Looking forward to the.
That's what I name the Congo TV.
But anyway, looking forward to delve into the heart of the discussion and hopefully, yeah. Thank you.
All right, I am Abubakar Jia, known as the Mind's Eye. It's an honor to be here. I am a written poet, but then as he rightly mentioned earlier, I am having inspiration of doing spoken word as well. So it's a pleasure and indeed a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
So then follow us as we explore on the mindset of today's youth through the lens of poetry. So, what's your name again?
My name is Musa A. Sissoko, right? I didn't know that at first. My name is Musa A. Sissoko, known as the logical intellect poet inspired by wisdom, right?
So now tell us about the moment you realized poetry was a tool you needed to express your perspective.
The moment I realized poetry was a tool for me to express myself was when I was inspired by certain prominent individuals, people like Zakir Naik, who is a preacher, though he's not a spoken word poet, but then at first I was inspired by them to have this passion of speaking public and expressing myself. But as time goes on, I get exposed to Islamic poetry. I listen to poets like Nafin Muhammad, Kamah Sahleh, Abuna Muhammad, you know, and Muslim Bilal. These are great spoken word poets who understand the literary art. So this was when I decided that if these people can inspire me to this extent of me, sometimes even shedding tears in some of their poems like that, and you know, some emotional poems of theirs, then I said, why not me, you know, pick up the pen and then, you know, express myself.
Indeed, inspiring, I would say.
Yeah.
I would cry. Yes. So now to you, the mind's eye, sorry. So now what personal experience or feeling do you find yourself return to in your work again and again?
Well, for me personally, literature has been part of me for a very long time. I realized it at a greater level when I was at high school. That was a breakthrough. I have always been that person who is vocal, and I love expressing myself. So being in the arts class was a breakthrough for me. Then after those years, all I ever did was to continue what I realized for myself, continue what I love doing, and then it was just recently I started concentrating on literature as a career, but then the love and then the passion has been for over 4 or 5 years now. So it's a journey that really has saved me a lot, because I've been able to be exposed to certain people, certain societies through poetry and then literature. The good thing is, the goal is to inspire, and then I will always continue doing so.
Yeah. So now this question is for both of you, actually. Yeah. So because you both are speaking to the same generation, having, let me say, the same or similar audience to speak to. So now, what is the biggest challenge or misconception about young people that you feel your poetry could actually correct or is trying to correct right now?
Okay. I would say the misconception about young people that my poetry is trying to correct is that life is for enjoyment triumphantly, right? Young people in today's world have been so much indulged into following their desires and using their brains to think ahead that there is a future that lies. And I think this is a dangerous mentality that is embedded in nowadays young people. And I feel like my poetry, in one way or the other, has addressed in terms of inculcating into the youths that there is a future that lies ahead, and one must tighten his or her belt to be able to secure it. Because at the end of the day, you might die through frustration. Okay, so to avoid that, I feel like poetry is one of the most powerful tools we can use to inspire, impact, and change narratives. Also, uplift. So, notwithstanding the misconception about young people as well that my poetry is trying to address is also that I cannot make it in this country. I have to go overseas, even if it means fixing my life at the back way through that horrendous journey. So I think that has been a misconception about nowadays youths. I believe that the current situation is not favorable, that leadership is failing, but that shouldn't be an excuse for anybody to exit his or her life through the backway journey. And I've written poems about backway, also discouraging youths, in terms of how do they make sure that they see through the right path that yes, I can make it in this country, even if it is going to be hard, but I'm going to try my level best to make something out of nothing. And I think poetry is one of the most powerful weapons we can use to change that narrative and that mentality and that misconception. And so far, so good, poetry has played a big role in addressing some of these societal issues.
Could you take us through some of these societal issues that your poetry?
Yeah, at first I was doing poetry Islamically. I was an
Like one of those Islamic poems, I think.
yeah, I wrote a poem about prayer. Nowadays, you understand most of the young people, it's a big hurdle for them to pray and stuff like that. So this is what inspired my prayer. And also I wrote a poem about dunya. We are so much indulged into the desires of dunya. We want to enjoy life, and then we tend to forget why we are even here at the first place. You ask few people, they don't know why they are even here in this dunya. They thought they're just here to roam around and just play around. But that is not the case. So that is what led me to write about dunya, and also about some keep controversial topic, which is pornography. Sorry for the language. You understand that in today's social media age, many young people, are so much indulged in one or two things. And I feel like it is something that should be addressed, because even though it is uncomfortable to talk about, or it is controversial to talk about, I feel like as a poet, it is upon me that I address the people in terms of what might lead them to corrupt their mind. Because I remember through my schooling time, what inspired the poem was the rumor was spreading around that these people are in school and they're watching one or two things, right? So this is what inspired me to write a poem about.
Are you crying?
I'm not crying though. But anyway, and also I've got multiple Islamic poets, and when I am gone, we used to remind the youths that life is not just about enjoyment. There is accountability ahead. Whatever you do today, know that tomorrow you might find it in front of you. So this some of the Islamic poets that I've written that is addressing misconception about youths, and also societal issues to the government, government officials, and us as people as well. So yeah.
I hope you haven't forgotten the question.
No,
If it was me, I would have already forgotten the question.
no, not really.
So
Not
I
really.
should just ask to confirm.
Well, anyway, yeah, there is a lot of misconceptions, though it might be from different angles. So for he has to explain. And then for me, personally, I am someone who is kind, and then my nature is what I'm reflecting on my literature. That's how I am selling myself to the world, and then it's through literature I'm using. But then, considering my muse, which is love, there's a lot of misconception going on here for it. Like, yes, I can remember vividly very well when I started, what I did was, I wasn't well known. I didn't even meet him earlier. I wasn't well known in the industry. What I did was, I started writing romantic poems. Yeah, and trust me, I'm good at it.
No, I just have to smile.
I started writing romantic poems. And when I started sharing, I realized that people love it, and then they were really enjoying it. The flow, the rhymes, and all of that stuff. But then, though, sometimes when you put your work out there, people respond to it, and then you understand that this is how this particular feels about this particular title or thing that you talk or write about. It do happens naturally when so many people see love as a scam. When I say love, love is where, and for me, almost I express it in every way. It can be romanticism, it can be through the love within friends, it can be the love through family members. So it's very well, and then it's more than that. But I realized when I was doing that, many people were just with the misconception of it's a scam or so. I understood that it was their experience. You know, yeah, when you choose the wrong
Are
partner.
you heartbroken? No, let's just ask. Are you heartbroken?
Nah, bro. It's far from
There
it.
are friends that you love deeply.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
For real. I would just take a good example, the friendship between you, Raphael, and then Aisha. You see, no matter how the
Can you
situation
say that
flow,
love
bro.
is scam?
Yeah, I can say it's true. Sometimes we argue.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's man.
that feeling is still there, and then it's real. I've seen it. So when it comes to relationship, it's another wahala. But then I believe that when you have certain experience, you doesn't have to put the blame on love. It's really not easy because you go through certain heartbreaks. That's crazy. It puts you down, and it takes time before you realize yourself. But then it's not about love. It's the person that you choose. And a lot of time people then take accountabilities. That's a problem. I myself have been in relationships where I didn't enjoy what I really wanted. But at the end of the day, I don't have to fight myself or lock myself in a situation whereby I don't have to move. No, it's about learning and then move on. Yeah, for real. It will happen. If you come to the business world, sometimes you experience loss. You experience challenges. So all these things are things that will contribute to your growth in the particular thing you are doing. Yeah, thank God now we are in another level, but then it's just a matter of process, of time and then a process. So we just have to respect and move on. You can't change people's concept about things in a particular way. Maybe by force. No, you just have to show them this is how things are, and then they will try to see reasons. So with time, some will understand. At the beginning, many didn't understand, but then now, many people does. Because as I said, I project myself in my literature. How I vibe with you in the street, that's how I am anywhere. And then if I'm writing, that's a pattern I use for you to see the message that I'm trying to put across. So for many times, I personally, I would say I am grateful, honestly speaking. Yes, because I could take many situations as an example, but then let's just understand and then move on. Yeah. You can't prevent other people's opinion. You can't. Like there's a saying that everybody has his or her opinions, or everybody is entitled to his or her opinions, and then you can't stop it. What you can do is put your message across there, protect it, and then life goes on. Yeah, people will always be people, so it's you who have the power to change the narrative.
So now, léegi nañ jaxas bahas wolof ak soose. ñu dem nañ ko defee noonu rek. nañ ko defee noonu rek.
Anyway, my Dinka is not correct, but I will try.
Man dégguma soose.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
So this question is actually talking about your piece of art, like how you turn a powerful emotion into a beautiful piece of art.
how I turn a powerful
Oh,
emotion,
nga uyuma si angale de.
how I turn a powerful emotion into it.
Yes. It's into a beautiful piece of art.
Wow, look, you know my one is not good as well. I don't want to misbehave now.
has
But anyway, how I thought that is through my inspiration, right? You understand, poetry has all the tools, that is guiding you towards writing to picture a vivid image in the reader's mind or in the listener's mind. So how I turn those powerful emotions into imagery is what I see, how I see what I see, how it inspires me. You get the point? So that is how I get to turn that to a vivid image or picture. So lumana mu wax rek la so mo non la ci li ci wolof ana so wolof bi baax so mo bëgg interpret fi dafa jël tay. But anyway, I guess you guys understand. So poetry dal mo nekk lu nga xam ne leef la rek comme lu nga laajte rek moo nekk comme naka laa dee mun a toon dara comme ni ka poy bu nga xam ne
Léegi de wala laa kan saraxale. Waaye bu ñu saaga rek.
mu bëggee sakkandu so dafa laa ko wala so mu bëggee sakkandu I understand. So loolu nga laa defee rek moo nekk comme soo gisee lu nga xam ne dafa jaba wax wala da nga gis ne jaabul yoon wala da nga gis ne lii dafa nekk lu nga xam ne dafa jab ne nga teg si sa baat noo koy doxalee si wàllum poétrie mooy sa xel bi yaa ko moom poétrie dafa nekk lu nga xam ne dafa yaatu so dafa am yeneen tools yu nga xam ne da lay guide so through those tools nga dee mun a use with the right process knowledge bu nga xam ne dangaa mun a picture something lu nga xam ne dafa mun a reflect loo gis ak te loo bëgg a teg si yoon so poétrie daal mooy loolu laa mun a wax.
I'm not inspired, but I'm indeed inspired.
Anyway, my Wolof is not good. I've never been interviewed in Wolof, so that's the problem. But anyway, yeah.
That's understandable. And then to you, my question would be the poetic form of device or like a specific rhyme or rhythm that you use in your spoken word that you feel helps you communicate your message well. Or a metaphor, for instance, that helps you communicate your feelings well in poetry.
All right. For now, I'm not into spoken words, though I have
Even written page, there must be a specific metaphor, a specific rhyme scheme that you follow, or a rhythm that you love so much. So it is unique to your style. Yeah, just like Shakespearean.
All right. I'm not into that first, but then with regards to written poetry, though for spoken words, it's just about me practicing it and then putting it out there. But I've written poems that are spoken words. For written poetry, when it comes to my style of writing, there are certain things that as I said earlier, it's about me projecting myself in my literature. So one thing about my writings is they are lyrical. Yes, they are lyrical. A good number of my poems, if you read them, you realize that they are lyrical. And then they are also original. Yeah, not just to give that vibe, like it. Just for the sake of liking it.
Yeah,
No.
just like those radical poets out there, your boy.
Well,
Got
people are just people, and then we all have our ways. Yeah, for it. But then, to me, the most important thing is the message, and then the way to communicate it. Come, will come how important. Like for instance, if you are reading my poem, muna them to a level bohamna, I just have to so understanding literature, not just you who wants to read and then just understand. Like it's a normal text.
Poetically deep.
Exactly. They are so deep. They are so deep. I could remember just yesterday, yes. It was last week the person texted. I was the one who texted the person because she always liked my write-ups. And then I texted her privately to show my appreciation. at the end of the day, come back more when I like what you are doing is good. I really like it. Then after I went ahead and asked her, come linga de itanga sumo poetry. Her response was come that they just both in my life. So
She do this on it, right?
yeah, understand her. But like,
So, like I said, come now, all of people said it.
I believe I can
It's
go
a
ahead.
shame, like, as far as the local language is not that much. Like, that
You
that
call
shows the
yourself-
level of mental slavery and how we've been entrenched, you know.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. You will come on.
You call yourself a Pan-Africanist.
That is what I'm telling you. We've gone into a system that's made English to shackle us and the associated from our culture and our identity, right? So we are in the process of trying to revolutionize ourselves, right? Trying to change the scenarios. So for now, I guess the words are not clear, but as time goes on, they will be more clear. You get the point?
Well, I believe it's just a matter of capturing the message out there. That's the most important thing. Though, come, hammer. Then I got to let them level you and like if you are to communicate. For man, honestly speaking, I can't talk any of the local language that put in English. That's me. But then, yeah. But for me personally, it is not just because I want to. No, Apula. And then if you understand that, basically English is part of all that we do. I understand. Yeah, man, Apula. So in a different part, and that's it. So as I was saying earlier, that they just spoke up, and I was like, okay, she was not the first person to tell me that, but I understand now. Okay, these are stuff that I want to hear. And you know, me and go like, I understand, but it gives you that motivation to keep going. Because without people realizing what you are doing, or without people understanding what you are doing, Tonya no more they understand at a specific given time, but then in the process with time. So if you see certain things like that, you feel like, okay, I need just to keep going. And then I'm the Gambia now. I have people here about even South America, North America, Asia, Australia. People here, I met them. My influence there to the level they show me. So a level the moment I expect that, but then it is what it is. The goal is to inspire. So at the end of the day, that is what we are doing. Yeah.
In your mom, you like saying, it is what it is. It is what it
It
is.
is what it is. We are blunt, right?
Yeah.
I guess we are blunt, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
I guess.
So, to both of you, yeah, how do you actually handle criticism or a pushback when you send your piece or your work to someone and then they give that kind of critic? Yeah. How do you handle those?
Actually, for me, I'm not scared of being criticized, and I don't view anybody otherwise if I'm criticized based on my point. In fact, I love to be criticized because
How about when dealing with sensitive topics?
yeah,
Being criticized in certain way that it's a pushback.
yeah, like when you are to criticize somebody, it depends on the context and the content of you criticizing the person. Okay, for me, like politically, we can debate or any other criticism regarding what I'm doing, or like we understand the current protests have been criticized, right? Okay, so do I have to respond or anything like that? Do I feel bad about it or stuff like that? At certain juncture, I want to clarify myself. But in terms of poetry, if you criticize me, you call it logical. Yeah, I had your point, but then I think you need to work more. I'm not feeling the literary devices. I'm seeing too much bogus. The lines are not, strong. The literary devices are not rich as well. So I would love next time if you have to release any poem, you show me so that I will guide you too. Honestly, I appreciate it. In fact, I love you, brother, because I feel like you love me by telling me that. But most of the people today, when you correct them or criticize them, they feel like you don't like them or you hate them or stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's for your own good. So for me, how I handle criticize depends on how you tell me, and also depends on how you've been acting throughout with me. Like, what is your motive? Some criticize because they wanna negate you or they wanna demote you, right? For me, when I know that is your platform, you got a problem. My tongue is sharper than a blade sometimes. Yeah. So I'm just being honest because I know I'm somebody who has faced a lot of criticism, not just in my poetry, but in my social life, in also my involvement in one or two national affairs. I've seen people who have been close to me and they show me love, you smile, fake smiles in disguise, right? And they've said one or two things that I didn't even expect from them. They're criticizing me, but I feel like it wasn't sincere, right? But at least if somebody comes to me and criticize my art of work, I will ask the person, what is there that you think is missing and how best do you think I can improve? Because I'm not perfect, I'm on the process. Okay, I'm trying my level best to become better every day. So for me, humbleness is key. The ego has to be set aside. But it is quite sad that the ones who know less are the most egoistic people when you correct them and they feel otherwise. But for me, it depends on how you correct me or how you criticize me.
Okay. Yeah.
That's an interesting question. Personally, for me, when I am about to start a journey, I set my mind in it for anything. As I always expect that things will come. So it depends on me on how best to tackle it. But then when it comes to criticizing, it doesn't have to be a person who you want to criticize. You don't have to speak to that person in the tone that you feel like, no. Like for instance, if the person is disrespectful, at that point, if you don't have patience to tackle that situation, it might reach to a level that you both are not planning to, or you both are not expecting. So, personally, if I share a poem with individuals or an individual, I really like to hear from both sides. That is the good side of it and the bad side of it. Not even the bad side of it specifically, but if you recommend the good aspect of it, I would also love to hear the recommendations on what to add, maybe what to adjust on, what to move from there. So these are stuff that are important. But then what I have realized is many times people just tell you that it's good, it's good, it's good, it's good. But only few tells you the best thing to do. Yeah, I will use this opportunity to thank Sanusi Jawe. That guy is something else for him, man. He's a brother whose heart is so clean. He has been with me since I was like, yeah. And trust me, I'm that person who prefers you to be with me while I'm doing the process than to be up there and start celebrating me. I will prefer it, and then I respect that for it. But then people who starts with you, never forget that. He was someone who started with me when I was like this, for real. But then this is just for people to understand. Criticizing is very important. Sometimes if you are not criticized, you don't know the weak points.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then it's also hard for you to realize certain weaknesses that you have. Because if you are always told you are good, you are good, you are good, you always have that mindset that you are good, and then you keep quiet. And you might meet people along the way, they will tell you that, why not you do it this way? You will think that good people or people who have been good or people that are good in literature are always telling me that you are good. So why or who are you to tell me that this is wrong or I should do certain things? Sometimes that concept also grows.
But let me comment. That's the problem of the mentality in the Gambia. When people like they just want to make you feel good, right? Especially your friends, even if they know your weak points, and they'll be like, "Hey, you are good, yeah." Because the mentality that pictures an image in your mind that I'm good. So who is he to tell me that? Yeah, I've oversized in one way or the other. So I will just add up to there that is the mentality in the Gambia, and I think it is high time that we shift that mentality because it is not something serving well, and because of that, I see many weak minds being evolving forward, and I think they are doing good. Sometimes when you listen to certain poems, they do I'm being good down there. Yeah, and that is due to everybody telling them like they are close people telling them instead of telling them the fact for them to work on themselves, okay, and to improve. But it is what it is. Sometimes you hear certain poems, you have people that are gay. Yeah, like
Like I was saying, you need that people who will push you to that limit. Among them also is Mohamed Kotra, Ahmad Estiallo, and then the last poet King. He's among the few that always tells me, why not you do it this way? Even he's impressed with the work that I do. And Muhammad also has been grateful since at the start. So I have a lot of names to mention, but then trust me, I have all of them in the heart here. For enough respect to them, they have been really good. You know, the journey is not a solo thing. You have to be with people, and then you have to move with people. So there are times that you need to be alone, yes, but then there are times that you need to be people. So it's you knowing when to and how to, then be in the better shape to go forward.
I'm actually glad that we have this program here, the mindset, because we've been discussing. I'm impressed. Yeah.
But yeah, impressed.
I'm impressed.
You have the mind's eye on board and the logical intellect point.
Exactly.
Nah,
So-
it's very hard to. It's just a fact. We are blunt.
So.
Yeah.
Can you share a piece with us that actually resonates with the mind of a young person today?
With the mind of a young person today. Okay, I have to think. A lot of things can resonate with the minds of young people, but it just depends on the context that you are trying to base it on.
Just any piece.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay, I'll go with my favorite.
I hope it resonates with the mind of a young person.
Of course,
right.
obviously. I'll go with I say broken homes, right? Yeah.
Okay.
I see broken homes all over this country. Yes, broken homes scattered like a deafness. To be repaid is a dream that does not sound appeal. You see, we play an appeal to seal the holes that expose our vulnerability. But their ability holds no dignity to remedy that adversity because they lack humanity. A nation teachers ready to fall like a faulty European, no hope at all. The fact, no cap, the truth, no lie. Our hospitals have become graveyards for the poor, for the weak, for the vulnerable. No door to knock for help is on the floor for the poor. Paragon, where mothers die and no one cares. Minds are emergency fail, urgency dies, immorality thrives. Where dignity lies. This is the life we enjoy. The rule we obey, a government that leads us astray. If only they worship God as they worship corruption. If only they cared for the people in need, to plant a seed of hope, to feed, of deed, to lead righteously. Only then could we thrive, revive, and restore a nation once proud, now broken to the core, but a cure. We need a leader, we seek a bid, we hope will go seedlings to heed the cries of the masses in need. How absurd it sounds when leaders build roads to max the vote, covering the sins of the rolling lot. You know they talk a lot, while hunger numbs the citizens suffer the vote. Reason with me, Gambians. The nation crumbles under soaring prices, and the living crisis started with vices. Heart-wrenching scenes of unmeal day. The poor left hopeless, their dreams swept away like a flooding Bangladesh in this country. Suffering feels like a crime. To be a Gambian is to be a betrayer's crime. Corruption like a wig choking the life out of Mother Gambia. A wig they've planted with their own hands. Leaders who dare to care in agony we chant and bear the seed they put us through, the hardships we face in fear, the tears we wipe hopelessly, the struggles we encounter harshly, the system a friend to poverty, the thieves in roaming free, while the poor in grief, feeling the pain and shame, dying a death of frustration, overthinking, laughing at their faces, smelling things made impossible to acquire. But system failure. Revolution costs, especially whispered by the system builders. Who they go against? So Mama Land, wake up before it's too late. Yeah, that's the piece.
Wow, I mean, I don't even know what to say. I'm speechless. No, honestly, like the piece talks about a lot,
Yeah.
especially that line that you said was the lives that we enjoy. So
Yeah, the life we enjoy, the rule we obey, a government that leads us astray. If
so
only, yeah.
yeah, those lines I feel like it reflects something in my mind,
Yeah.
which is more. So I'd rather not delve into that, but then this piece is indeed one of the most powerful pieces I would say that I've had. That I've had, to be honest. Like, how nga yung mong sabi? Yeah, a Pan-African.
Yeah. And I feel like it has a lot of connection to do with what's happening. Like you've asked, okay,
Yeah.
in terms of being resonant to many people, especially the youths in this country. Because I feel these are information we should be aware of, so that next time we know, we count our steps and we measure our steps and know that every action we do today, there is accountability tomorrow.
And most of these young people right now live in broken homes, I would say.
Exactly. And the country is going astray, things are getting worse day by day. And then I'm telling you, all the youths in this country, if you made the mistake you made in 2021, shame on you. We can't afford it, honestly. Just to be blunt, we don't need puppets, we need Pan-Africanists. And we are disappointed, okay? We are disappointed, we are heartbroken. And inshallah, we are going to hustle out. And I'm going to tell all the youths that the time to secure your future is this 2026. Wallahi. If you miss your steps, you will regret it for a long time. Okay, that is all I got to say. And
No, you know what you have just said right now actually triggered a question in my mind. Are you starting for election 2026?
honestly, I aspire to be a president in the future. But I'm telling you that I don't care if people tell me that politics should not start with one or two people. If I see a leader with a vision that has a mission to accomplish, and that's main aim is filled with wiping the tears of the Gambian people, I promise that even if it means that I'm going to use my phone and then just so rally go in every valley from Banjul to Koina, I will. Because
Standing for election is not easy.
I'm not going to stand for election. I mean, a little, I can stand. I won't be at the age gap, right? So there is an age gap you have to be at. I guess that is something, I don't know, 40. No, 30 something, sorry, 30 something, so yeah.
So to you, can you have me with the mic? To you, like, have you ever written a piece which actually resonates to what we've just heard from him?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, the title, what is it about? Since you are written page forward, so, or if you would want to read it, it's fine.
Actually, I have something that I want to read, but before that, bro, one thing you just have to work on now is I guess I have to go to you and you teach me. Now, honestly speaking,
Teach you like how? Yeah, my boss now. I beg you.
bigger I will accept that. For real. It was, I tried many times to dodge from it, but then he didn't allow me. I will accept that. But one thing is for sure, come man, there are certain things that I'm good at, he's not good at, but there are certain things that he's good at and I'm not good at. So you see, that's the point that I'm trying to pick you out here. But anyway, we'll be in touch and then we'll do certain things, for sure. Yeah, for real.
We are planning in Bangladesh.
Honestly, I wrote a piece regarding the social issues that we are facing. It's part of it, and then the political atmosphere as well. I would prefer to read this up, but then I'll just put some key points out there. It is true that we as citizens of this country, we are going through stuff. We are not satisfied with this system. That's true. And then even the leaves of the trees will really accept that and then attest to it. That's fair. But the question here is, who is the government? The government is not an individual body. No.
Exactly. It consists of three.
Exactly. And then it requires the leaders and the civilians.
Yeah.
The title of the poem is Their Misconception, Our Contribution. You know, it's true that we are pointing out stuff that leaders are doing, and then we are also trying our ways to make things better, especially the poets. They are really trying to. He's one of them who is doing that. Yeah, honestly speaking, I must give credit to him. But then this is for all. But in Gambia, what I have realized is people a lot of times don't take responsibility and accountability. We always like to blame people, and then that's not how things are going to be better. Still on the team, it's just for me to put the message that I wrote out there. Bigger up, the leaders are not doing certain things that we want, but honestly speaking, we also are not really trying.
Okay, can I jump on there? I believe that Gambians always like to blame, right? But then the fact is that, and the growing point is that leaders have responsibilities.
Yes.
And when they do not execute those responsibilities, it is upon every citizen or every concerned citizen of this country
Yes.
to bash them, to slash them, to crash them, to crush them. You get it right?
That's right.
So for me, actually, I understand, like, even Gambians, for us, we need to change.
Yeah, for real.
Like, look,
That's
like,
the
you
point.
have a very valid point. Gambians who always like to blame. But I'm telling you, I don't know another government, but this government, every blame that is levied on it, it deserves it.
I know that, I know, brother. I know, brother.
Yeah.
I know. Honestly, it has not been easy for real, man, for it, because there are so many people that talks to me privately, bro. If you consider the vision and then the mission they have, the plans that they have for themselves and their future, you'll be really impressed. But then the situation and the system somehow is preventing or making it difficult for them to thrive in whatever they are doing or in whatever they want to do. That's true. But then this is a matter of two people in a journey. So the government has to do what they need to do, and then we have to do what we need to do. Like, for instance, let me see, if you see a fight in the street, you didn't separate those people who are fighting. You didn't separate them. What you would do was just to take a picture of them, a video of them, and you criticize them. What are you trying to put out there to the people? Instead of you trying ways, even not to solve it, but then you can link with other people to try and solve that particular
Actually settle that.
Yeah, for real. And then you sit at the end of the day and keep blaming the police that are not doing what they need to do. Whereas us in our homes, to be honest, is the reality. In our homes, everything is not set. That's just it. Every reflection.
You have a very valid point, but at the same time also, I can debate that point based on the fact that when a government is serious and laws are put into place that are very strict to adhere to, and not only that, our police officers, are giving strict guidelines in terms of vibes. Because when you understand, now you understand, many cases will go to the police station, at the end of the day, they will just lag them with $500, $1,000, $2,000, and they will let it go.
Yes.
And that is why the crime rate and then the fighting is too much nowadays. Because whatever happens, there is no consequence. So I feel like if the government was so much serious and concerned about its people, there should be very serious laws that will prevent any fight. Because you know that when you fight, there will be a levy of consequences.
Yeah.
But then what you are saying, like passing, that's wrong. If you see something, you cannot just try to solve it. If you can solve it, don't put it out there and make it look bad. But at the same time, I will say the government has a huge responsibility in every aspect of this country.
That's right.
And that is what they are not doing.
That's right.
And I feel like the colonial laws need to be reversed. There should be a reform, a transformation, and a drastic revolution that is to be unfolding.
Yeah.
Without that, my friend, I'm sorry.
All those points are valid. I do understand and I respect them. But then when it comes to we, the individuals, our mindset is our biggest, let's say, our biggest
threat, right?
It can be in a form of threat, but then it will be an advantage as well. Like, for instance, you know what is good, and then you keep doing bad. If things escalate to a certain level, you blame the third party. Well, everything starts with us. Everything starts with us. And a lot of times we don't take that responsibility. I'm not promoting or defending the government, no. But then before things reach at the government level, it starts at home. So if things are not done or things are not going the way it should be, there is no way we can get it right out there. So it has to be right in our homes, in our houses, in the places that we are, for it to be right outside. Everything starts at home. And there's a saying that if you cannot get inside, don't break the bridge outside. So that's it. We have to put that thing across and then put it out there. Like for me, I know that you are doing what you are doing and then your words are speaking because you are putting in a person. The same as for me. Like, I can't preach about love and then at the end of the day, at the societal level, I keep, let's say, dividing people, or I keep doing stuff that will.
Instead, you are expected to spread love.
Exactly.
So what you see and say what you do.
Exactly. It starts within us.
It's the Pan-Africanism. Keep quiet, I beg.
It starts within us. So it's just a matter of we changing our mindset and then be ready to do what it takes. You know, if people don't do certain things which are expected of them, they always like to blame the third party. It's not even about the government and the civilians. Sometimes at home, you can see a situation whereby you can do better. And if things didn't go well, you might probably blame your brother or sister about it. Whereas you had the opportunity to make things right. So that's it, basically. These are one of the key points that I wanted to put out. Now,
That'll be into the piece.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on, give me a minute.
Can you share with us the title of the piece?
Yes, the title of the piece is I Am a Drunkard.
Title?
I am a drunkard.
A drunkard.
Yeah,
For how long? For how long?
Well, don't worry.
For how long?
My words will testify. Let me do it this way because it's not really safe.
You can
Anyway,
just hold your phone. Yeah.
I want to hold this photo for people out there. All right. I am a drunkard is the title. And then here it goes. This is signifying that.
The bottle of wine, right?
Exactly. I don't think so. Anyway, it's just to put the message out there. I am a drunkard. In darkness, I glances through my unconsciousness. My walking imbalance like a seesaw. Ear swallows my divine thoughts, but only few pays grace. I see brighter than conscious minds. My tone doesn't wipe my morals. My tone doesn't wipe my morals. My rust is not my show. A lot is untold. My loss is unfold. My faith is on hold, but my reality shows. In a certain thought, conscious minds are not better than me. With the word I possess, don't judge the lane I swim in. And an atom of fear seeks my comfort when I think of the consciousness. When I think of the consequences. But my heart's function drive me to be better in my imbalanced journey, and I still exhaust my expectations and my faith. I just want to put this question to you both. What did you learn from this?
Okay.
I can say what I learned from it was like, though there was some, when you are reading the poem and when you are reciting, it's different. Yeah. So I would say, you try to picture yourself as a drunkard who is going through one or two things, right? And what you were trying to do there was trying to express yourself. And it was something like that was burdening you, and as a drunkard, you were like, in fact, I'm better. I'm not what you think I am. Right? I can remember in one of your lines you were like, I don't know, I'm better or something like that. Oh,
Better than conscious man.
yeah, I'm better than conscious man, right? Well, I would say that line carries a lot of power. It can be interpreted in different ways. And I would say, like, I think I read this poem when you sent it to me, and I could really feel this one onto it. For me, I love lyrical poetry, okay? The expression of personal feelings and ideas. For me, lyrical poetry is one of the poems I really felt deeply. So, I will accolade you for that, right? Yeah.
So then, you asked me the same question.
Yeah.
So I am a drunkard. I would say, as a poet, I would say the piece is more metaphorical because you are not actually a drunkard, but then you picture yourself as a drunkard. And I could see the irony of the situation of being a drunkard and then saying, what was the line again?
I am conscious that
Yes, I am conscious that.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I could see the irony of it, and then you delve into social issues affecting our society, and then complements what he was, the piece that he recited not long ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, the piece is indeed great.
Thank you. Just to add on that, I'm the type of person who mingles with everyone. For it. There are people, for me, humanity requires for us to respect each other. It do requires. Let me just take an example. There was on Friday, the event that we went. Right?
yeah.
Before, while I was on my way to Tangier, we reached at the checkpoint at Bushwood, and then the police stopped our car to inspect. But then I came down because the person who was at the back was the one who was called by the police. He was carrying a bag, and then they wanted to inspect me. Then I alighted from the car, and then I was standing just beside the door of the vehicle. And then a drunk man came. He was teasing me. Yeah, he was teasing me. He was like, just seeking me. Come, he mentioned
I
something.
think that was what I came across with a drunkard. I mean, it was a very horrible situation.
And
That's the only and the guy.
I knew his situation, but then I just had to do what I did to do and then move on. I'm not in that vibe. What I did was I just understood his position, his situation, and then I didn't even pay attention to him. I entered in the car and then ignored him. I went up to sign, and then a mad woman, she's a lady actually, she was just sitting on the way. That was when he was like, it happened in his presence. I just found her.
Her leg in front of him, and it was like, if he didn't pay attention, he would have fallen, or anything possible might happen. But the condition of the woman does not allow you to see him
Yeah.
that way of trying to harm you, right?
And yeah, for sure, I understand. I imagine what she told me was my damn baby. Power. Someone I just had to ignore and then go ahead with what I wanted. But then you realize that if things happen like that with certain people, they won't take it lightly. I perfectly understand that the situation that he is. Honestly, I wish that both of them will see light along their journey in life. It's not easy to see your brothers and sisters out there in that situation. But then just a reflection on what I was saying. Sometimes we maltreat people that are in this situation. Like for instance, drunkard. I could remember when I was young, there was someone who was a drunkard, and then normally whenever he drinks, he comes to the community and then misbehaves and all sorts, and people will be insulting him, people will be teasing him, and then he will also be insulted. And I was like, wow, this is not something good, because I might not know the reason why they are doing that, because people have their different reasons of doing that. I just hope things change. But I was like, I don't know what's the reason why this is going on, but I wasn't part of it, seeing people doing it. And sometimes if you try to address certain issues, it's a problem. We have to. But what I used was, I normally tell people, my peace of mind, that is to show you, it would have been better if you do this in a certain way. And then some understood, but then, kids, we are who we were, but then it's something that happens gradually. It's not just, it comes naturally, it happens gradually. Stubbornness is in the line of many people. I personally am very stubborn, but then sometimes
Stubborn as well.
you see, you need to know when to put it across. You need to know when to put it out there. So that wasn't really an easy thing for me. I felt their situation. I'm like, okay, if this was me, maybe my brother and sister would have not been part of it. So it wasn't really an easy thing. And the way people maltreat them is not really okay. If you see them in that situation, what you can do is maybe vibe with them, give that reasons for them to materialize what you are telling them. At least some are there, they have changed. And most of them, they are harvest. A good number of them are harvest. You never know. I see people that drinks alcohol, even as of today. They know Islam more than all of us here. But personally, I don't judge people on what they do. No. You know, at the end of the day, no matter
So they say, do not judge the book by its cover.
by the cover.
Because there are so many.
Exactly. But when you are a Hafiz or you are somebody who is knowledgeable and you do not acknowledge your knowledge, then there is no use for your knowledge. But well, situations happen at the same time. Sometimes you get involved in one or two things because you've gone through one or two things, and that can lead to one or two things as well. So yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
People who master the Quran can be drinking and stuff like that. But I would say, you know, if you follow your emotions. If you follow your emotions always, you will be lost.
Yeah, that's true.
You will be lost.
Feelings right.
Yeah. So that is what I would say to every person out there who is possessed with knowledge. Make sure that you manifest it, right? Do not only clothe it. That's what I would say.
So that's just it basically. It's about the maltreatment of how this, how people do stuff to them. It's really crazy. And that's one thing I also realized. When a drunk cat speaks, don't ignore it. Just listen to his or her words. Not for do you read the book Harvest of Corruption?
No?
You read the book?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, there's a scene
Who wrote it?
from something, if I could remember very well. He's a Nigerian, yeah.
Is that?
He's a Nigerian.
Oh, I like you.
He's a Nigerian. There's a scene in that play where there was a scandal going on. The protagonist of the play was Chief Halade Adui, Chief Halade, something Chief Halade. I forgot the full name, but then they usually call him Chief. He was involved in a scandal about 1.2 billion naira, I think. Yeah. So there was just a police station nearby, and the officer was trying to. He read the news on a newspaper, and then he was trying to wonder what is going on, what corruption is happening in this country, and where it is leading to. You know, that image out there. And then he just stood by his window and then had the chief talking about the situation. And literally, what the thief, what the mad person said was like something. It was like he was reasoning in a way that where normal people were not reasoning. That's just a reflection to where I said some conscious minds are not better than me. Because he said that if he was the president, he wouldn't allow that to happen. Meaning if he was a leader, he wouldn't allow that to happen. Imagine someone who is drunk. So it was not a drunk man, it was a mad person. He was mad. And then there was sense from him. So these are
Those
stuff,
lines
yeah.
were more direct than metaphorical or ironical.
Well, I would say ironically. But then sometimes it could be placed in the metaphor aspect. Because, you know, there are certain people, if they are unconscious, they say conscious things. It do happens. Yeah, it do happens.
Yeah, I can attest to that most drunken people do speak sense most at times. Some of them do not, but most of them do.
Yeah.
And alcohol is something. I won't drink it though. Do not accuse me though. Bible is something when you drink it, your mind is open-minded, right? You see things differently.
Seriously.
You see afar from the normal person. And that is the effect of it. And one of the effects of it as well is it derives you from your consciousness. It can derive you from your consciousness, right? So I would say like the poem is amazing. The iron narration there, like it was metaphorical as well because you could see a lot of comparison, right? Direct comparison, right? So yeah, like do not just judge the book by its cover.
Exactly.
That's what I understand from what you were saying. And also,
whenever you see bad, do not try to justify it with bad. If you can do good, then just like the prophet said,
That's just the bottom line.
if you can stop something bad with your hands, stop it with your mouth. If you can with your mouth, with your heart, right? So if you can do that, just let go and be yourself. But we got a lot of evil people in this last generation, a lot of people who judge people, and at the same time, most of these people who are fond of judging people are the worst people living on this surface earth.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that is what I could understand and catapult from what you were just trying to say. Yeah, and I would say the poem is amazing, and I feel resonant because I have seen one or two drunken people and how they act. Some misbehave, some act otherwise, but some, when they speak firm, you listen. Wisdom is spilled, right? Yeah.
Yeah, just to add this, I just hope all those people who are in those situations will see the light one day. I just hope. It's not easy for it because you seeing someone else and laughing about him or her in a situation where maybe you don't like it. But it could be tomorrow, your family member could be in that situation, you never know. Life is a journey, and then this journey, we are not serious to see what will happen in the future. We only have the faith and then the confidence that this is what we want to do, this is what we want to achieve. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, and then God only knows what will happen tomorrow. As the saying goes, tomorrow I ain't promised. So there is it. So basically, I just want to emphasize on people just cleaning our minds. It's not really good. Because I personally, for instance, mostly, let's say, when it's prayer time, I normally wear these abayas, and then when people see me, they are like, say ho, all those vibes. And then if they see me in certain situations, they're like, I'm like, come on. They are the ones who are thinking the way they want to think. But me, I'm just being me.
Because
Exactly.
for me, I'm not somebody who has learned the whole Quran. Though I try my level best to know a lot. Okay, I would say I like not just hyping myself. If we are to get into an Islamic topic here, if I talk, you would think I must have the whole Quran or the Hadith. But while I did not, at first I was so much indulged into it. Okay, I will make researches. I just want to know more. But then the moment I start expressing myself, people start terming me as Ustaz, someone even term me as Hafiz. And so, I'm not, and then that borders me because I'm like, I'm not clothing that clothes, so why clothing that clothes on me? And at the end of the day, I got a lot of judgment. That's why when I do one or two things, and people like, hey, Musa, and stuff like that. So this is why, even if I have to post on my status, I'm very careful. Because for me, when I receive judgments, I would say I'm scared of it.
That's not a judgment. It should be a more like motivation sort of.
Yeah, I know, but at the end of the day, people have a lot of misconceptions, okay? It doesn't mean when you see somebody in a half down or wearing a heavy gear like my brother is all stars and stuff like that. I was also doing Islamic.
Yeah, thinking about his beer because you don't have.
Mine will come soon. God is not sleeping. Okay, so that's what I wanted to elaborate on that. People should change their mindset. Not everybody you see doing one or two things. It's literally, it's just that you have the passion for this, you love doing this, and you just want to be a good voice for humanity, and you just want to be a guy that you just want to try to see the light out of people. That doesn't mean that you're an ustaz if you do one or two good things. And then ustaz are humans like you.
Exactly.
They feel like you, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. So you move on.
Okay, I think the show is about to come to an end.
Yeah.
Yes, and it was really interesting having you both here. But then the last question for both of you. So now looking ahead, what is the mindset you hope that the young people in the Gambia and then beyond would adopt?
Like I said, I haven't said so, but my aim.
Like one of the core messages you want to send across.
Yeah, I understand the question. So I would say I have aim, I have objectives, I have targets, and I have ambitions. And one thing I would like the whole Gambia to embrace, not only the whole Gambia, the whole Africa, for Africa to see life and finally embrace it is if we all embrace Pan-Africanism. And it is something that I'm
working my level best to make sure that I inculcate in many people. So for me, actually, at first I wasn't exposed to Pan-Africanism, but the moment I get exposed to Pan-Africanism, I can say I've seen things differently and I view things differently. And I've looked at myself and said, Musa, you know nothing. You just need to read and read and read and read again. You know nothing. Like at first, like some people will be hyping now, like, yeah, good, right? Yeah. But then the more you get exposed to certain things, the more you know that you are vulnerable. Okay? So for me, actually, my aim and objective is to see all the youths to embrace Pan-Africanism. Because I believe Pan-Africanism is the way, is the future, is the light, and it is the only ideology that can liberate Africa. For us to see this country forward, we need to be patriotic, right? But for us to see Africa forward, we need to be Pan-Africanists. And this is an ideology that the West have been fighting, that America has been fighting. If you look at all the Pan-Africanist leaders who have stood firm, who are willing to put their neck on the guillotine for their people, all of them have been executed or coup d'etat. So that shows you as an African that there is a problem somewhere. And as an African, you need to ask yourself this question. Where have we get it wrong and how can we get it right? Why is it that every leader who stood firm and make transformations and see through light to the hearts of our people have been executed, have been eliminated by outside forces, to our own people? These are the thoughts you should ask yourself. Why is it that evil is like the way they are, and still we are like this, while majority of the world deposited minerals are found in Africa? These are the questions we should ask ourselves. Why is it that Rwanda faced genocide in 1994 and was able to overcome all those challenges today? The leader was Pan-Africanist. He loved the country. He has a vision. He has a mission. You know, he was willing to put his neck on the guillotine for his people. And what he did was outstanding. Today, Rwanda is one of the most developed countries. Imagine a country who lost almost 1 million people in a genocide. So I would say, I would love to inculcate Pan-Africanism in everybody through my voice and through my poetry. That is why the logical dream of intellect, the spirit of Pan-Africanism came into existence, which is also to awaken consciousness, to raise awareness, to motivate, to impact, to uplift the youth, and to equip us as citizens of this country with the right process knowledge to be able to carry on with the journey that our forefathers have carried on. Imagine Thomas Sankara's name is in history book. It is footnotes there. Kwame Nkrumah, Julius Nyerere, all of them. You have to ask yourself, why are these people so famous? Or what makes them to be these great people they are? What was the difference between Adama Barrow, between Macky Sall, between the president of Ottawa, that puppet of France? You have to ask yourself, what is the difference? And what is the difference between Yahya Jammeh and Adama Barrow, or Yahya Jammeh and Jawara? These are the questions you should ask yourself. And I feel like this is the values or the core values I would like to spread all around through my voice and my poetry. Yeah.
Interesting, bro.
Interesting.
Yeah, for real, interesting. And honestly, I don't like to talk about things that I do. I prefer for them to speak on their own. I've been saying this, and then I said it here twice. But then, when it comes to the mindset, like it's a pity sometimes how we think. Honestly speaking, I'm that type of person who is very vocal, yes. But then there are certain situations or there are certain crowds when I go to, I don't prefer talking. I just prefer to sit and watch or listen. Yeah. I could remember a good example was my journey to Ghana. I went to Ghana. Trust me, bro, I wish you go to that place.
We have family members there.
Bro, Ghana.
You wish that I go there too. You said you wish you goes there.
Okay,
How about
now, I wish all of us go there. Anyway, including the camera one. Like, bro, that country, when you are in that country, you feel like, you feel it. You feel the zeal of Pan-Africanism. I could remember to every hotel I went to, I think I went to about 3 or 4 hotels. And including the ones I saw, there's the map of Africa there. And then the event that I went to, almost all the Ghanaians there were dressed in their traditional attires.
The effect of Nchuamin Kumama.
Like that was crazy, man. That was really something else. And at that point, that was my first time being in that platform. What I did was just to be quiet and then watch and learn. At the end of the day, I put what I learned on paper and then it pays. That's it. Sometimes you don't have to talk, you have to sit and watch. Okay, reflecting to the question. As I said earlier, sometimes how we think is really, really, really crazy. Social media is really doing a lot of harm to many people. Not all people, but then many people. Yeah, because I am that person who doesn't always want to judge based on one side of the story or what I saw. No. I could take a reflection on sometimes how I see comments on what's on Gambia if this post stories. I'm like, come on, man. It's really, 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 really not helping at all. Whosoever reads that will almost feel the same way or try to believe in the same pattern that you as a leader or you as a writer who put it out there. So it's also important for us to consider how to put out our information out there. It's very, very important. You don't always have to believe what you read or hear. There's always more to what you have seen and then heard. For instance, I am sitting with you and then you talk something about Musa. If you talk the things that you talked about Musa, I will sit and analyze everything. And then me knowing Musa, I'll try to reflect. Is Musa that really that type of person? But then I will not stop there. I still have to do my fairness, not to go to him and ask him directly, no. But then I have my own things. I would prefer that to be under the carpet rather, to see how best to know. Even you have known him for a very long time. You know, sometimes we speak about people and how we are feeling and it doesn't help. Yeah, it doesn't help. Feelings lie sometimes. And this is a lot of misconception that is really, really affecting our mindset. And another thing also is just be who you are. Try to learn from people. A lot of people are copying from others. When I see it, it sounds funny to me, but it's fine. We all see things in a different way. The way I see things is different in the way you see things, and the way he sees things. We are all different in our ways. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is reality. It's not about what I think, it's not about what you think, it's not about what he thinks. It's what is important, which is the reality. So this is something that we have to adopt our concept and mindset to. Along the way, it will really help us. If we don't change our mindset, it will really retard our growth. It will really retard our growth. Don't copy from people. That's what I have to say from experiences that I have seen to people out there who are listening. Don't copy from people. It's not only about being poets or about being journalism. In any form of career that you are pursuing, don't copy from people. Be you.
Authentic.
Choose your own way and then move on with it. You will have criticism and all other stuff, but at the end of the day, keep on the road.
Yeah, I would like to comment on that. Like, just be authentic, right? We understand that in the poetry industry is sad. Okay, if you look at certain scenarios, I remember like people using one or two lines or verses of certain poets, right? Even my lines have been used, and I have known few poets whose lines have been used. Like sometimes people will send me poems and like, check this for me. I just wrote this. Fam, you just wrote this and I knew who wrote it, and you like with confidence. And when you, for me, most of the time I do confront. Okay, so when I confront them, they will be like, no, I wrote this, you know. And then sometimes they will say, no, my sister gave it to me, or my brother gave it to me, or my mentor wrote it for me. And that is something we should really retard from. Okay? Well, as a poet,
Mentors too should teach their mentees how to write as well.
mentors, even most of these mentors cannot write poetry. They are using AI to write poems for them, right? Most of them are using AI to write a poem. For me, actually, when you send me AI poem, it doesn't matter if I have to tell you or not. Sometimes I tell people, sometimes I do not tell them. It depends on the relationship and also the environment we share. right? But then I'm telling you, like most of these mentors or so-called mentors who are not even well equipped in poetry. I'm not saying I'm not clothing myself as well equipped or anything like that, but I'm just saying from experience and from what I'm seeing outside there is too much ego, and I think that is something we should retard from. At the end of the day, it is what it is. We are all one family, you know. This poetry industry is so small for us to be disunited and also associating in one or two ways that are undone. Because when you look at it, if I have to say it, it's like a whole book. So I will tell everybody out there, every poet out there, be authentic in your own way, be unique in your own way, and then, you know, let people know you through you, not through somebody else, right? And I will advise you, use your brains, okay? The brain is powerful than AI. You can use AI for any other thing, but not to write a poem, right? A poet is somebody who writes a poem. Yeah, you can use AI, ask it questions, it will, you know, just you can learn from it. That is the most important thing about the technology, right? Which is to learn from it. But it's not just for it to write a poem for you, because when AI write a poem for you, that doesn't qualify you to be a poet. A poet is somebody who writes a poem, and that is something we should know as poets and as aspiring poets. And you know, let us just be that from it, because it is doing more harm than good. It is weakening our minds, and this brain is sharper than anything. The AI was created by the brain, so your brain can think beyond. So that is what I've got to say. And to all poets, peace and love, man. Like Get Up and will say, yo, 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 yo.
Yeah, I just want to add a few words.
Yeah.
Honestly, about the AI issue, I was really shocked when I heard about it. The slum, I was sitting with someone, I think it was at the quarter or semi-final, quarter, I guess. And then someone recited the poem. The one who was sitting near me told me that this poem is AI. I'm like, huh? Are people doing that? That was the first time I realized.
National poetry.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Are people doing that? That was my first question. I was shocked.
Perhaps the pressure was high. I was aware.
Oh God, I was really shocked.
It was always high, it's loud, but it is.
No, come on. You know, there's beauty in your own. The level of beauty in your own and the level of beauty in others is quite different. That's the perspective how I see things. And honestly, my philosophy and others' philosophy are different. And sometimes we have this misconception and all that stuff. But along the line, many people learn and then they were able to understand. There's this friend who normally tells me that he works in the community level. And he's like, bro, professionals back here. I'm like, bro, that's how things should be. You just have to do. But then he understands the level that the people we were serving are. But then if we don't put stuff like that across, if they reach a certain level, they will face challenges.
Exactly.
And if those face those challenges, that would be a reflection to the people they were with at the beginning.
Imagine if you were not a real poet. Yesterday, I did something to teach all the mentors a lesson, which is to call you up so that we can do a open mic poetry. They give us a title, we lean on it, right? So that I did that not because I want to show off anything like that. I just wanted to prove a point to all those points there, to all those points there and the mentees there that, you know, your brain is powerful. Your brain can think for you, even without even thinking critically. You know, it is vast enough to be able to.
Well, but sometimes, you know, there are certain poets that have this, that anxiety to just call them on stage, just like out of the blue. Yeah, some poets have that anxiety. So at that spot, for them to think of something, you know, a lot will be running in their mind. So at that juncture there, it will be very hard. So some poets are not actually poets, but some are there, they just have certain kind of anxiety.
Yeah, that's right.
I understand. But then, you know, for me actually, I would not say like when we do an open mic poetry, it will be as best as if I think okay and right. It's different. You're just trying to test yourself. It's just trying to improve. It's also about practice. Not everybody can do it. If you don't practice, you can't do it. That is why you have to be ready always as a poet. You have to be equipped with the right knowledge, because not poetry without knowledge is not just poetry.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, really out of time.
Yeah, no problem. That's right. Anyway.
I guess.
Yeah, so do you have anything to like, a channel that people could follow you on?
Actually, I'm using. I'm not active in YouTube, but I'm using YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. Right? I'm not that much active on TikTok also sometimes. Yeah, my TikTok page is the logical intellect poet inspired by wisdom too, right? My Facebook page is Mosai Sisoho, and my YouTube page is the logical intellect poet inspired by wisdom. And today has been a great session with my able boss, Mind's Eye, right? And you know, Paragon, yours an amazing, you know, and the finalists as well. We are looking forward. We are looking forward, and yeah, that is all I got to say. Thank you so much.
All right, to you.
All right, for me, actually, I haven't started going on social media like the likes of TikTok, Facebook, and then the likes. But then there's work ongoing, so with time, we'll get to that level. But then to people who are supporting, I am much grateful. Yeah, I'm much grateful to everyone, my family, friends. Much respect to you, especially Mama. Rest in peace to that, and then the entire family. I'm so much glad about your support, and then to friends as well. Bakari, I see you. Bakso, I see you, bro. Thank you so much, and all of you. Thank you. It was really a pleasure to be here, and thanks for the opportunity as well. You're doing a great job. Keep it up.
So be it. It is what it is.
I would
And
like to say a big I love you to my mother, right? A big love you to my mother. Yeah. And my manager, Ansua. And no find down, pass. Aisha and all crew, you know,
for
Amisi and all of you.
Yeah.
I'm saying a big shout out. You know, it has been an amazing job.
to our wonderful viewers out there, thank you so much for following us through this show. And then we hope to have you all again in our next program. Stay tuned every Monday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. The Mindset. Thank you and gracias.